That definitely was a long one. I am sorry, chat, for those of you who were not quite interested in that. Oh, here we are. Plus 20 dodge. Minus 10 dodge. Adds bonus damage to your next attack equal to 50% the damage received from attackers. Oh, so basically a berserker. Well, I'm gonna essentially keep her as my tank for the time being, so... yeah. Wow, I'm already pretty close to, up to here. We're almost past, rank 4, so... Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal on your... I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. Was mentioned your short-armed warriors need help? What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echocall, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendreth Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-point attack. I have no right to give you orders, but we will all die to Krios' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. I'm already not really liking this edict at all. Evil or not, this is stupid. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened the last time? Defeat and detail. We carved a bloody path up to the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how we were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. We found bodies washing up into the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up such a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the number we'll need to take this valley. Really? Are you sure our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just chose to disregard our warnings? I'm sure the disfavored would have heeded such advice. Ugh. Maybe the next time we won't be so forthcoming. Let's see how many of your precious northern stock survive this war without our intelligence to back them up. Don't test me, Fury. This sort of talk gets us nowhere. What's the value of taking the discrossing? We can't just march from here to the Citadel with a defending guard. Many of manning the riverbanks, fording troops and supplies through even the narrowest points of the river makes us vulnerable to attack, especially since our armor wasn't built for swimming. If we can't take the river, we have a clear march to the Citadel. Oh, if we can take the river, we have a clear march to the Citadel, and Ascension Hall will be ours in no time. Does favor need my help? Trying to pour salt in my pride. We've left Fort Resolution with 100 on 100, and there have been no reinforcements or reserves. I keep throwing warriors back into the battle before they're properly rested. So yes, I need to rely on all our allies, especially since most of our allies are conscripted Tearsmen, worse than useless. If the favor didn't take every opportunity to insult the Scarlet Chorus, perhaps you'd find our help more forthcoming. Gonna shut your snout, filthy mongrel. Whoa! I won't suffer childish japes in my camp. She has a point. She does have a point, actually. She does have a point. The disfavored do constantly mock the Scarlet Chorus. The disfavored have history, pedigree, proper training, all the things these southern conscripts lack. We didn't train them for decades to be peers and equals of these traitor tiersmen. We lived lives of dedication to Kairos, and the chorus accepts any fickle coward too fearful to die by their convictions. What you're seeing here is disfavored bigotry at its finest. I'm somehow at fault because my country wasn't conquered before I was born. Forget that I chose Kairos. Forget that I chose the Scarlet Chorus. Forget that I chose to fight off rapists and killers to earn my place in the army, just for the disfavored to call me a worthless turncoat to my face. No one gave me a suit of armor that I could hide behind. No one issued me a sword and a measure of authority. I took everything that I have, and I fight every day to keep it. F Northern Swine. My frustration was aimed at those in the chorus who accept Kairos lightly. Like loyalty were some shifting breeze. What's my help worth to you? What's it worth? You read the edict. If we don't take the Ascension Hall, it's your sorry hide too. Do you need a bribe to care about your own survival? Sorry to waste your time. Clearly the Scarlet Chorus is in greater need of help. Ooh boy. We are better prepared than the Scarlet Mob, that much is true, but the downside of being Kairos, most elite fighting force is that we only accept the best, which leaves us short-handed at times. She cocks her head to the side. I get it, your duty was to proclaim an edict, not to anchor a shield wall. If you assist us, I can put in a good word with Archon, Ash, and the soldiers. Fighting incurs all manners of expenses. Subtle, shrewd. Maybe the chorus leaders have their riches sacking from too much wealth, but around here, soldiers are paid proper salaries, and the quartermasters handle all that and all the nonsense. With an underhand toss, she lobs the rings your ways. If that's what it takes to stop the edict that threatens to kill us all, I'll help yourself. We'll assist. Then our plan just might work. We're loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that to and on, the educated selects only the most capable minds for his court. And I trust you will honor us all with the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Hall Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack the Stone Shields. Now, before you ask, no, the Forge Bound wasn't sloshed on Dapple Seed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't exactly come off. Oh. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. Ooh, boy. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Staying out of trouble?
I wasn't sure you would recognize me, Binder.
A familiar voice emerges from the unfamiliar wall of walking iron. For a moment, you can recall the features of Beric of the Stone Shields when he wore the traditional disfavored uniform during the Stalwart campaign, though he looks much changed.
And no, not staying out of trouble, just solving it. I take it you're with us for Echo Call?
Beric, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Beric with a mixed look.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Grave and Ash leave you out in the rain?
Sorry, Beric. Anyways, Beric sighs a frustrated growl, shaking his iron enclosure of a suit. I encountered Beric in the Stalwart campaign. Though he appears much changed, he's an excellent soldier.
You're generous to say so. I'm afraid I left the better part of myself on the killing fields of Stalwart, but it's still in my pride and honor to serve the Legion.
His voice falters. You can't tell if it's hesitation or regret that stalls him. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true, and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
I asked that Beric accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Nice. Beric, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. Ash has assigned you to be the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Beric regards the Iron Marshal in impressive silence. That's an order, Beric. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. Come on, Nerd. Good God, buddy. Oh, man. Well, he's our tank, so I think I'm gonna up this. Save. Go over to here. He's got 1 point. Issue mocking invitation, challenging enemies to attack Beric. Yep, he's a tank. I kind of figured that was going on. All right, so we can actually switch you to this.
I see as the crow flies.
All right, so oh, this is how I do it. Okay. Custom. There we are. Do. Yeah, that's probably where I want to be.
Right.
Varric, I have not. Varric was elated by my noble ways. Always good, right? All right, and then taking the Outer Valley, so we gotta go to that one. I wonder if we can only have 4 companions. 4 total party members. Okay, there's Echo Crossing. So Vendral's Wall. So we need to explore Echo Crossing for clues of the missing shipment. Go to the Northern Clearing. Travel to the Northern Clearing to search for the Earthshaker reinforcements. Okay, we'll quick save, or actually we'll make a hard save. And we'll go to the here. Oh. Yeah, why? Vendring guards. All right. Oh, hi.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping, flashes of aquamarine body paint. Peek out from under her nose, fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's lines. Flanked on either side by the warriors dressed in Vandrian guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm.
I owe you an apology, Peacebinder, for we have dishonored the surrender that you offered us in our year of defeat. I cannot excuse or defend our action. I leave that to history. But all the same, I am deeply indebted to you for treating my tearsmen with charity and humanity, even in this time of madness. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. You have me at a disadvantage.
I am Ebb of the School of Tides, and today I speak on behalf of the Vendrian Guard.
I advise caution, Fatebinder. Only thing more dangerous than a tearsman is an educated one.
There's a blue flag. I expect you will honor it.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos's way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Deimos is with the chorus now.
Then if we see him again, it will have to be as enemies. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Another dead Oathbreaker.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
Sorry you did not find what you were seeking.
Then all that remains is for me to thank you for hearing me out. In accordance with our ancient customs north and south, let us part with peaceful accord.
One second, chat. 1 second. I want to see if I can get some questions in.
That's far enough. I owe you an apology. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I am Ebb.
I advise caution, Fate.
As is our custom. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the... Then if we see him again, if I may make one more inquiry. What if my apology... I had no expectations that our friends could...
Have some
We
questions.
shouldn't be socializing with Oathbreakers.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to save?
I grew up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
Young realms were beset with a constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos' order?
You make conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the younger realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No Tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
Only your daughters are really free in the Tears. Why fight against the Kairos' equality?
There's freedom, then there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders, he'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries we've left the lands to the women, and the seas to the men. And we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
What thinks you have any chance?
No, we don't. Those who believed Kairos could be stopped all died years ago, in the first wave of fighting. It's not about the hope of victory. It's about the hope of inspiring others. It is very likely we will fall here in Vendrian's Well. But perhaps others will arise elsewhere.
But a mage like you would not be the subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad Archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
At that remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. Ebb turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
Let me ask you some other questions. How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Nerat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the tiers. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you. Thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge, or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tiers, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendrian Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I assume Tarkus Aria and Tarkus Demos are relations?
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously, so I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Were the prisoners swaps in the past?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own. Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
In the name of the vaunted North, the will of Kairos should be delivered with blade and hammer, not to the ears of oathbreakers and compromisers.
Curious. You did say all in the valley. So the edict will affect Kairos' forces? This is most unexpected. That is most troubling. So either the soldiers come to destroy and kill us, or the edict does the work. I suppose we should be so honored the Overlord is taking no chances on us. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Are we really standing here and chatting with oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. Like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
That's a weird thought. But, yeah. Ask your question.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tears were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's fate binders can smell truth from falsehood? Thanks for that. I could see why you'd want to foster the mystique all the same. The School of Tides would always tell commoners we didn't know how to summon drinkable water. Once they find out, you can't eat in peace. And Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
The Overlord has some control. The Kairos only knows the exact details.
Ah, so some edicts are forever. The rest are, as long as Kairos has in mind? Needless to say, Kairos' magic is unlike anything we've seen in any Archon. And one more mildly self-indulgent question, but I simply must know. Kairos, male or female?
Honestly, I don't know.
Really? You don't know either? You work for the Overlord, but you don't know if she, or he, has an innie or an outie?
Would you feel better or worse to know you lost to a man or woman? Why does this matter?
You speak true. It ultimately matters not. My apologies. The question now seems rather foolish. You must remember, Kairos was just a horror story from distant lands for much of our lives. We have many unanswered questions. You'll forgive, I hope, the questions. The Overlord and his Archons used to be things of legend. Now they're everyday maladies, and I'm eager to separate the truth from the lies I've been told by house and guild. In accordance to our most ancient customs, let us depart in honorable accord. May
Oop. I think that was better for us. Anyways. So, are we gonna get her as a companion later on? Is that what's gonna happen? Jeez. So this is gonna end up becoming a very intriguing game. 8 days to Kairos' Day of Swords. Oh. Oh, we're on a time limit then. The guard places her hand by her belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of a blade. Past this point is Chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I am Zercon, Fatebinder of Tunon. I am here to help vanquish the Oathbreakers. You know, I think I was told to expect somebody, but you seem too ugly to be him. Why exactly should I let you in? And more importantly, what's this hulking tone of iron doing here? Step in close and push her down. Gain favor with the Scarlet Chorus. Before she can draw her blade, you advance, place your foot behind hers, and give her a stiff shove on the shoulder. Caught off balance, she tumbles backwards, triggering an outburst of laughter in the other guards. Can't believe you sassed the Fatebinder. You're such a stupid ponce. Didn't I tell you we had a special guest coming? Come on in and don't let the nanny shitters give you any go. That was great. Oh. Spectral blur. Yes, please. Okay, I always got frozen grasp, searing palm. Okay. A binder of 200 arrives. Squealing with teenagers timbre, the fifth eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. We just finished having a bit of a sport with some captives, but worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Not here to follow your every order, but we need all the work we put together. Well, but of course, you're Tunon's concubine, not mine. Okay. I envy your long leash and hope you will grace us with your prowess, if only to set an example for the rabble. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we've learned this is not their only nest. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining a camp here in the outer valley. And unless we deal with the second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. You have how large of a force for all these weeks? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maternity, but do not insult that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. And Captain Palok's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. So you need... So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers. And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendran Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varia Kell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try to take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Why not ask the Arcana secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. An unintelligible mutter escapes from... Ugh. I do not tell the voice narrate what to do, nor do I question his motives. And the Archon is busy plotting the efficient destruction of these Oathbreakers and is not to be disturbed. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined that interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Nerat.